Hey guys, how is everybody? Welcome to Sunday night's edition. It's time to wrap up this week's book, and we are heading into week 20, 24, 25. I can't remember. I've lost track of our 30 books in 30 weeks. But as you come in, we're going to wrap this up with a little football talk because, I love football. So I'll give you guys a chance to join me. As you come in, feel free to welcome some folks into the conversation with us. Feel free to share the video out if you're catching it on the replay or if you're catching it on YouTube. Thank you for making that additional investment, going that extra step, going the extra mile to join in on the dialogue and to talk about negativity. For those of you, if you're coming in for the very first time, you don't know who I am, you don't know what 30 books in 30 weeks is all about, and we are 20, 24, 25 weeks in, let me share that with you. My name is Marcy Batiste. I am the Ultimate Power Coach, America's #1 reality-based success and recovery trainer. And a couple things I always like to make sure everyone always knows about me up front is that I am sold out to my happiness. I live life on Mars, and that I love what I do. I love coaching. I love working with other individuals, and I love being able to be the spark that ignites the light for someone else to discover and embrace their star power. That to me is exciting. That's what moves me. And then, like I said, my happiness is my guiding light. So if you get me closer to happiness, we're good. If you take me farther from it, we're probably not so good. And that's kind of how the space that I navigate in. And then 30 books in 30 weeks is a self-ownership, personal development journey. It started at the end of 2017 in November. Can you believe we are almost halfway through the month of June now? So we have been at this for about 8 months of really diving in and taking a deep look at some personal development, amazing personal development books. So I rated my personal development library and committed to every single day, every week coming on here and sharing with you guys some takeaways and some ahas from a book that I'm reading or rereading for that week. And most of the books that I've selected thus far were 20-something books in, and this is all from my personal library, so I'm able to share with you books that I absolutely love, that have been game changers for me, that truly make a difference. And so tonight we were talking this week about negativity, negaholics, people with shitty attitudes, and how they affect you. And I was watching, so I'm reading the book, and so I'm thinking about negativity, and I'm thinking about people's attitudes, and then I start watching this interview with Tom Brady. And so he has this new book out. I'm not sure when the book was released, but I'm actually going to get the book. And for those of you who know me, I am a diehard Broncos fan. The Patriots are my nemesis, but I love excellence. I love the pursuit of excellence, and I respect great work ethic. And so I was watching this interview with Tom Brady, and I got a renewed respect for what he does. And one of the things I always say, people are always like, well, they say, or they said, or they told me. Who the hell is they? And so I was watching this interview with Tom, and I'm thinking about negativity, and I'm thinking about how other people impact how we think about ourselves, right? And so one of the things he was sharing in this interview, he was sharing that, first of all, I didn't know he was the 199th draft pick in the 2000 draft. And so I was like, wow, imagine, now he's got this 18-year-old career. He's considered one of the most, if not the best quarterback of all time, right? Broncos fan, that's hard for me to say, but I have, like I said, respect for the man's work ethic. And I have even more respect for him as an individual now than I did before. So, 199th pick in the draft. So when he went into the draft, first of all, he said he didn't even make starting quarterback until he was a senior, in his senior year in college. Up until then, he's constantly fighting for a spot, constantly trying to, but he's every single day, practicing and reading and studying the game and all this kind of stuff. And so he's just dedicated to this process. So finally, he's in college for 5 years. And then his senior year, his last year, he finally gets a starting quarterback position. And he had to scrap for it the whole entire time. So then decides he's going to go try out for the NFL, whatever. Ends up being the 199th draft pick in the 2000 draft. 198 people were picked over Tom Brady, right? And so he was sharing, he said that, all of the recruiters and the coaches and, everybody that's out there, and how they send him to the combine. Like, I don't even know if he made the combine, right? So they're saying things like he's too small, he doesn't know how to move the ball down the field, his throw is messed up, like how he holds the ball, how he releases it is messed up. They actually told him he should probably go find another job. Like, dude, the NFL's not for you. They said to Tom Brady, you should probably find another job. We don't think this is a job for you. Who the hell is they? And they, now, hindsight, 2020, 18 years later, couldn't have been more wrong, right? Because now he's hailed as the greatest quarterback of all time, the most winningest quarterback of all time, whatever. But they told him he should find a different job. They told him he wasn't built right, he was too skinny, he was too narrow, he got pushed down too easy, he didn't know how to move the ball, his release sucked. All the things that they said, that had he listened to those people, he never, ever, ever would have pursued his dream of playing in the NFL. Why is this important? Some of us will stop pursuing our dreams because they say, oh, I don't think that'll work. And then they leave you alone. But just that little nugget of doubt, that little seed that they plant, is enough to keep you from pursuing your dream. That little bit of negativity is enough to keep you hostage in mediocrity, in sameness, and to have you discouraged. Imagine if you had all of these days telling you suck and you could never be in the NFL. But instead of listening and absorbing what they were saying, you said, you know what? My release sucks, let me work on it. Can't do much about my size, but let me do what I can. Let me study the game. Let me work on my release. Let me work on my throws. Let me work on how I push the ball. Let me get out there early. Let me stay late. Let me do all of the things that I need to do to make sure that I'm the best that I can be. That I'm the best position that I could possibly be in to land a spot in the NFL. They told him to go get a different job. They said, you're not cut out for the NFL. They said, you're not built for it. You telling me my whole body is wrong for this? And he still went out there and pursued his dream. He studied the game. He practiced. And to this day, it's his work ethic that has set him apart. It is that drive, that ambition to constantly, he said, the other thing that I liked about it in the interview, he said, I'm not really in competition with anyone else. Like, I'm always competing against myself. I'm always competing against myself. When he was talking about, like, even the attitude about winning and losing and things like that. And Oprah asked him, she said, well, how long does a win stay with you? And he said, well, it depends. If you win the Super Bowl, then it stays with you a long time, months. He said, she said, well, how long does a loss stay with you? And she gave the examples of, I think it was a Super Bowl that they lost against he brought up the example of Super Bowl that they lost against the Giants back in like 2011. And I remember that game. And he was like, took me months to get over that. Because it was like they were at like a 16-0 season at the height of their season. They get all the way to the big dance and fall flat and lose the game. He's like, months, literally. And so he was talking about how you have to find external factors to keep you motivated, that it's not always going to be the win. You can't rely on the win to be the thing that keeps you motivated, because it's not always going to be there. You're not going to win every single time. But you can't let that discourage you. You can't let that negativity that's coming from all these external factors hold you back. It was a great, great, great interview. And it pains me tremendously to be hailing anything that Tom Brady said, because I am a diehard Denver Broncos fan. But it was a great interview. It was a great interview on the power of mindset, the power of your attitude, like how much your attitude is the deciding factor in your success. Like, how bad do you want it? How hard will you work for it? How long will you pound for it? Like, what will you do? Or will you listen to what they say and give up? Will you listen to what they say and walk away from your dreams? And maybe you're the they. Maybe you're telling yourself, I can't. Maybe you have this negative self-talk that's telling yourself, like, I'm not able to do this. I should just give up. I should just quit. If that's what you're telling yourself, you will never, ever, ever find the success, boo-boo. Not ever. Not ever. Not ever, ever, ever. You have to learn, like he said, you can't rely on the wins. You got to find something else to motivate you, something else to drive you that keeps you going. So I don't listen to they. Yes, LaDon. Yes. You can't listen to they. They don't know. And she says, continue to live in your purpose, your gifts, and your talents, and follow your dreams. Absolutely, you have to. Like, if you listen to what they tell you, because like I shared earlier in the week, the theys are basing it on their abilities. They're basing it on their past, their experience, what they think that they can do. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your abilities. And honestly, nobody even knows what your abilities and your capacity are unless you go all out and fall flat. And then you're like, okay, well, damn, that didn't work. So let me try something different. Let me try this a different way. But you can't give up. You have to, if you really, really want something that bad, you have to keep going. If you got to course correct midstream, then course correct. If you got to take something off the table for a little bit so you can focus, then take it off the table. Focus. Pay attention. Make the changes. Do what you have to do to make it happen. But you can't get caught up in what they say, because they don't know your capacity, they don't know your ability, and they have no control, no say-so whatsoever over your work ethic. That's the lesson for today. We're wrapping up this week's book, Negaholics No More, by Dr. Charlie Carter Scott. So that is my message for tonight. Stay tuned for tomorrow. I'll be back with next week's book selection. I haven't decided. I think I know the book I'm going to do, and it's going to be exciting for me because, yeah, I can't wait to share that one with you. So, yeah, that is what I'm going to do. So I'll be excited to share that with you guys tomorrow. Thank you, honey. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, if you get a chance, it was on Super Soul Sunday, was the interview that Oprah did with Tom Brady. I think it was from I have them all recorded, so I don't always watch them in order, but it was, I think it was last week's episode of Super Soul Sunday, and it was really just an incredible, incredible interview. Lots and lots of little nuggets on excellence and going for it, and striving to be your best in spite of what other people, what the theys tell you. So that's it for this week. As always, guys, thanks for being part of the Ultimate Power Team. Thanks for living life on Mars, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow night. Take care.